Yes guys, I hope everyone's doing well and having an amazing day. As you can see, it's quite sunny. I've even got a ray of sunshine coming into my car, so just ignore it for this video, but yes, it is a great day today. So the reason why I'm jumping on this quick video is to talk about internal family systems and whether you've ever heard of it and what it means. So the reason why I'm talking about this is because of rereading a book called No Bad Parts and just refreshing my mind on what internal family systems is, and I figured it's a good share for you guys if you've never heard of it before or you're not aware of what the parts theories is, and bit of self-awareness here and self-development. It's all to do with your psyche and your internal parts. I think the title gives it away. So what is internal family systems? So what this is basically a different way of thinking about your mind, right? And there's a different way of thinking about the different parts within you and moving away from a single-minded perspective to a perspective where there's actually multiple parts to yourself. Now this sounds a bit strange and it could sound a bit out there for you, but bear with me for 1 second. It's essentially how, if we take an example of an external family. So what an external family is you've got, you know, people around you, you've got your family, your parents, maybe your siblings, relatives, and the wider audience, which is your acquaintances, friends. All that system is external, and we can visualize as to what that means in terms of our place within that kind of external system. Now the internal family system essentially is, if you were to imagine if all of that and those relationships with those individuals are all contained within your mind and in a way is a part of yourself. So in essence, what we all are within ourselves are different parts that make up the whole. And in essence, actually, if we go a bit deeper into it, we aren't even a combination of these parts. So what it talks about within this book is that we have the self, which is the true self, and then we have all these other parts within us that embody different characteristics and different personalities. So in essence, what we think that we are ourselves are actually a makeup of multiple personalities. So taken to the extreme cases, this is where DID, I think it's called a dissociative identity disorder, which essentially is a posh term for split personality, where it comes from if you move it to an extreme, because with people with personality disorder, essentially it's what are parts within them that have experienced extreme trauma, or essentially a lot of it comes from childhood, experiencing trauma that essentially manifests in a way that it takes over your true self, and hence you would act in a certain way. But the thing is with these parts is that they aren't anything bad with them, right? Hence the title of the book called No Bad Parts, because essentially it teaches us to learn to understand these different parts within us and helps us to try and go through a journey of reconciliation with them, right? So it talks about part being a protector, where essentially it embodies certain qualities to help protect you against yourself. And these parts usually are a byproduct of childhood and childhood traumas. So your upbringing, if you've experienced any sort of trauma when you're younger, and I think everyone goes through trauma. I don't think there's ever a perfect childhood, because whatever seems to be like a perfect childhood can also be quite traumatic in its own unique way. So each trauma is individualistic, but what we're finding is with these parts is that they are burdened with a lot of stuff that's happened in the past that ultimately causes them to have an influence on us, right? And a lot of the times it's through self-preservation and to protect oneself. So, giving an example, if you were abused as a child, maybe parents neglected you as an example, that could be quite a traumatic experience. And what happens back then is that a part of you, just treat it as like an innocent part of you that's let's say wants to protect you, they could splinter off and become a protector, and their method of protecting could vary between people to people. So a part could be protecting you through, let's say, making you very sheltered, right? Or you lose a sense of emotions, maybe it numbs you in a sort of way, which isn't your normal self. Maybe you've got full of emotions, but this part in itself, because of the trauma of being neglected and it doesn't want you to feel hurt, it manifests in a way to numb your emotions and numb your pain, which could then affect your personality in a sense, or how you react to situations with no feelings. Right? But that's not your true self. It's purely a side effect of this part being stuck in the past. So the book also talks about all these different parts of you being stuck at a certain age. So if you treat them with pure innocence, they are like a child, an inner child. So it talks about inner child that's there to help protect you, that are burdened with the responsibilities beyond what it should have been. And as such, as you grow up, these parts that don't change ultimately will, in a sense, merge with yourself and manifest in certain kind of attitudes or personalities that might not be what you want, essentially. So, long story short, the book in itself is fantastic in helping you unravel some of the inner workings of the mind and maybe help you come to understand parts within you that you can talk to and essentially unburden. And I think is a goal of mine as well, to teach these things and also to, in a way, help myself with continued journey of self-development and unburdening my parts, because we've all got traumas. I've got my own personal issues, you've got your own personal issues, but the important thing is understanding that there is a way in creating a more harmonious and peaceful internal state that traditional generic therapy won't be able to help tackle it, right? Because the problem with, and it goes into it in the book, the problem with traditional or generic therapy is that rather than trying to understand these parts, if you kind of like subscribe to the theory and the model, rather than trying to understand it, therapy teaches you to try and hold control over it, ignore it, push it to one side, where in reality, if you do that, it's just going to flare up even worse. Like internally, there'll be more chaos because these parts, in a way, it's his own individual person, right? So if you treat the external family system like your siblings is an individual person, so you can't just push them to one side or try to control them, because they'll rebel, and that's what's happening to you in an internal state of mind as well. Is these parts rebelling, and then it essentially causing even more issues. So that is one reason why therapy in general, or in a general sense, doesn't work, because a lot of generic therapy is basically tick box exercise. One reason why I go to more lengths to do my research and learning from different people, and reading books has been such a game changer for me in order to take on different points of view, and for me to form basis of understanding with myself through experimentation. So this is literally just a bit of an introduction to what internal family systems mean. If you guys are interested in this kind of content, definitely let me know in the comments. Just leave me a comment to see if you want to hear more about it. But I am quite passionate about sharing this kind of knowledge, because I think it's not as a common knowledge to be shared, and it goes a bit deeper, at least to my understanding, compared to generic surface level advice of self-help and well-being. I think to really truly understand your mind and have internal balance and internal happiness, it is important to really dive a bit deeper into these contexts and theories, and also experience it for yourself. And sometimes having a dialogue between two people and learning more of others is one way of doing it, essentially. So I think I rambled on for a bit long enough. If you've made it to the end, well done for making it to the end. Hopefully I've been coherent. Communication skills and clarity is still something that I'm working on, but I'm hoping that something like this brings you a bit of value, even if it sparks curiosity, and maybe you can read the book yourself to think whether it's accurate or not, based on your opinions. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. Let me know in the comments if it's interesting. If you do like it, feel free to give it a like, subscribe if it's on YouTube, if it's on Instagram, give me a follow, and share it to anyone that you think might be of interest. And feel free again to reach out to me. Always happy to talk about these things and give you more insight into what I've learned so far in my own self-development journey. So I'll leave it there for now, and I will see you guys again soon.